Perfect environment to listen to my album Church of Scars would be with a heavy, dark glass of red wine. Maybe it's raining outside, but it's definitely like overcast, gloomy, or dark. I mean, it should be nighttime, right? Yeah, it should be nighttime if you're having that much wine. And you're alone. Or you're with someone that you can be completely vulnerable with, and that would be the best setting. Or you're, so either glass of heavy red wine, smoking weed, or both of them together or separate. But either way, something that can make you completely lean into, hopefully, the emotional roller coaster that you'd feel. There is definitely a theme that is running through this album, which is basically if any aspect of your life is a lie, or if you are living your life in any way that is not authentic, you can't truly be happy. And I didn't know that until writing this album. And in the writing of this, I realized that if any aspect of your life is a lie, you can't truly be happy or truly fulfilled as a human being. There is a song on the album called Dream, and it was this dream that I was having where I was screaming and no one could hear me. And it was just this reoccurring dream I had, and my first thought was to write about it. And then when I took a step back, I had to really look at the people around me as to why I was having a dream like this. And it was because I was being surrounded by people that were telling me to not speak my mind. It quickly became a streamline of consciousness to be completely the opposite of that, and to completely speak my mind, and to not work with those type of people, and to be as direct as possible. There is a song on the album that is that was the last addition to the album, and it's this song called Water. I think it was kind of the accumulation of everything I had learned throughout the writing of this album, so I feel like it would be the best representation of all the lessons learned. I realized that you can hide behind poetry and you can hide behind metaphors, and so it was a writing experience, and I tried to do this throughout the writing process. But with Water in particular, I just decided to be completely direct and completely vulnerable, that it was feeling so unusual to be treated with respect, to the point that I had to write about it, that just didn't feel right. Became my most vulnerable song yet. We have such an ability now to really present ourselves in whichever way we want. And I think some people take that to a Facetune land, but then I also think you have the opportunity to take it to a completely transparent land. My goal is to really be as transparent as possible, because I have found so much power in sharing your sadness or sharing your anxiety on any sort of social media platform, because that's where there are people that are seeking that, or if they are having a bad day, it does offer some release to know that someone you know is going through the same thing. Sometimes without even trying, your social media can represent just one aspect of your life. And I think the biggest thing that I write about is when you see someone or meet someone and you say, "How are you?" and they say, "I'm fine." And they're not actually. There's tons of layers. There's tons of things going on with both parties. And I think that "I'm fine" thing is completely represented on social media. And I remember I did this post one time, and I wrote down like 3 different times, like, "I feel sad, I feel sad, I feel sad." And I was in the middle of an amazing sold-out tour. I am living my dream. I am getting to meet amazing human beings along the way that say that my music has impacted them. But I'm still a human, so I still have days where I just feel really sad. I feel as though I'm not doing enough. I feel insecure, I feel inadequate, I compare, and it's more in terms of like, what am I giving to the world, that the comparison comes to. I learned the minute that I decided to do a creative field or do music that I wouldn't have the same life as other people. You know, I wouldn't maybe buy a house at the same age. I wouldn't maybe get married or have kids at the same age. I maybe wouldn't do any of those things. So I never really compared to that, but compared to what am I giving to the world and what am I doing, and is my music making an impact? I was really hesitant to do that post of I feel sad, because I knew what my life looked like, you know, from an outsider's perspective. But so many people wrote back and were like, thank you so much for saying that. I feel the same. It felt so liberating to have that moment of vulnerability despite everything looking and appearing perfect, and even to me feeling, you know, so perfect, and something I'm so thankful for. But it's also okay to admit that you are human. And I think for a really long time, and in the process of this entire year, I have learned the importance that it's okay that you're a human, and to actually lean into it rather than hide and run away from it. There is a bonus track on the album, if you get it from Target, and there is this song called Hold On. And it was a song that was written after one of the tours that I did, and it was just about, you know, holding on and staying together. But I think because of the use of the gospel vocals and the timing elements of it, it makes it very hard to perform live, but it became very experimental and hopefully anthemic. I would say currently that song would be River. And I'm thankful for that, because it is so hype and I get so angry every time I sing it. I feel as though I get angrier whenever I sing it. And there is one song that I can think of that I don't think I'll ever be playing live again, but I could be wrong. It's so high. It's so high. It's such a high song. Vocally, it's challenging. And I don't feel as connected as I once did to the lyrics. You know what, I'm gonna not rule out any song, because I think, you know, certain songs come up for different reasons, and sometimes songs exit the set for certain reasons too. So I have faith that all the songs will make an appearance. My first reaction to anything that happens to me is generally sadness. That is my go-to. So whenever I react to something with anger or feel feelings of anger, it really represents passion for me, and it represents being alive. With River, it really gives me the platform to face my demons head on, and every time I sing it, it feels more and more important to let that aggression out. It's aggression with intent, you know. The frustration of that song all stems from facing someone head on and not backing down, and standing up for your beliefs, and standing up for what you believe in. I think aggression with intent will always be important when it comes to pop music, any type of music, truly. So liner notes, who do I have? I mean, it's a thick paragraph. I think the most notable kind of unique thing about my liner notes is my sister is in the liner notes as right hand. It says right hand, Kate McLaughlin. I wanted something that when I looked back on it, I would be like, oh, that was kind of cool. You know, it was kind of cool that that got fit in, or that we had that time in our lives that we were working together. So I would say that's probably like the most unique thing in my liner notes. I really hope that one day, maybe for album 2, but I'm gonna try and do really, really personalized liner notes for the next album. I think this first album was very standard liner notes, and I think this next album, already in the writing of it, it feels so much more intense and personal, so I'm gonna make sure that I really personalize the liner notes for the next one. So far in the writing of the next record, there really isn't any hiding. There's no illusion of hiding, and that feels really exciting. It feels very scary as well, but it feels like the most me that I have ever been, and that really started with Water, because that was the last addition to the album, and I was writing and working with John Hill. That kind of was the gateway into my heart. It was the gateway into new music and really writing from an honest place.